Okay, so I want to establish off the bat that you need a 5-string to play this song. You need the low B string. So, I mean, for the main riff, we have. So during the song, like half the time that riff starts down here at B3. And later in the song, during like the post-chorus riff, we're going to be going down to B2. So, yeah. Now you could play this on a 4-string. I suppose you could play this by down tuning the E string down to C, so that you can tap on C sharp there. But that makes playing the song a lot more complicated. But you do not need the high C string. So I'm going to be playing the high C string in this video. But the highest I'm going to go with that is 19. And that is during the but as far as I know, that's the only time. That's like the highest it goes, just that one time to 19. We're going to be going up to 18 a few times. So basically, if you have a 5-string that has 23 frets, you should be, you know, in good shape. All right, for the intro. And then the verse is coming. Okay, just slow that down a bit. Okay, so the first note here is B15. Tap that with your left hand. So if you're on a 4-string, you know, you could tap that at E10. But again, with a 4-string, you know, there's a lot of the song you can't really play. So yeah, B15. And then with your middle finger, tap D18. And then with your index, tap A17. And then hit the B15 again. And then with your ring finger, tap G19. Well, that was my middle finger. And then work down. So D18 and then A17 again. And then tap the B15 again. Okay, and after that last B15, we're going to be tapping G18 twice. So I'm examining the pork soda version, and I learned this by ear. I usually don't do that, so you know, this. Well, I mean, I guess you could say that about all my videos, but I mean, this video is just, you know, my best interpretation. I usually look up live performances and kind of watch what his hands are doing, but, you know, there's like only 2 or 3 videos of them playing DMV, and you can either not even see what his hands are doing, or it's not quite like the record. So, anyway, on the album, usually it's just the G18, but sometimes there's a chord with that, so sometimes it's with the D17 in there as well. So I'll you know, point out where I hear it. So yeah, the intro the first time around, it's the G18 twice. The second time around, we're going to do that again, but then tag on this like E15 along with the chord, so you know, the D17 with that. So second time around, it's going to be like E15, and then tap the chord twice. So then the third time around the intro, it is just the G18 twice again. And the fourth time around, it's that again, but with this slide thing here. So, I mean, again, this whole thing is just what my ears tell me, my best interpretation. So it's either B8, slide up, or it's B and E8. I mean, there might, both those strings might be in there. Not really sure. So that was just B and this. It's with the E in there as well. So okay, and now we're down here at B3 with the left hand. So it is exactly the same as the riff before, but your left hand is tapping at B3, an octave down from 15. But yeah, other than that, it's the same. And that's going to be quite a bit of this song. Okay, so once we're down here, the first time around, it's going to be what I'm going to call twice once, and twice once is this. And that's going to be quite a bit of this song, like during the verses. That's, you know, what it is, like 90% of the time in the verses. Okay, and then the second time around is just it twice. So, and the third time around we have this chord. We're going to throw that chord in there. So the third time around it's like quick, you know, 3 taps with that chord. And the fourth time around we're going to tap once and then do that slide thing up again. And then we're into the verses. So back up here at 15. Okay, so into the first verse it is twice once. And then just once. Twice once again. And then once, but with this chord tapped 2 times quickly at the end, so it's like... So, I guess with greater context. Okay, and then next we have twice, and then once, and then that again. And then when he says, call it, we're going to be tapping B15 and sliding down. So, yeah, you do that when he says call it. And then we're into Pointless, and so I'm going to call that the chorus of the song. Okay, so for the first chorus, we're going to start with tapping this 3 notes at once, so with the left hand E15, and with the right hand D17, G18. So then after 4 times of the, we're going to tap that once, and then tap the chord, just the chord part, no E15, 3 times. And then tap that chord 2 more times. So, and then we're going to start tapping just the E15 with the left hand, with 4 chord taps kind of in between. And then to close off the first chorus, we're going to tap a B15 and slide down. Okay, so back into the main riff, we're going to do a twice. And then we're going to do a twice with an E15 slide down. Okay, and then after that, we have another twice. And then we have a twice with an E15, and then 2 chords tapped here. So kind of like the intro, so like that. And then we're into the second verse. Okay, now we're into the section that Vivo likes to put animal noises over. So we're going to start with a twice, and then a once, and then that again. But then we have this fill here, this. So that is just tap the chord, you know, this chord, and then slide up. And that is after he says vaguely what I mean. Okay, and then after the we're gonna have twice, once, twice, and then once, and then when he says call it, on that, we're going to tap this just one time, so the E15 and then the... Okay, so the first two rounds of this second chorus are going to go like this. So we're going to start with that chord, only it's not E15, it is up to E16. So that's all that for the first tap. And then move it down to 15. And then tap that chord 3 times. And then just tap the E15 and then 3 times after that. So. Okay, so after those first 2 rounds, the next 2 rounds are just going to be with the left hand, tap E15 twice, and then slide down after the second tap. By the way, that second tap, slide down, that's pretty much true of all the choruses in this song, including the first chorus. That is, just something I forgot to mention. And then 4 taps of the chord. And so the 5th time during this second chorus, right before he goes, Primus, that first tap is on 16, so it's... And then so the rest of it up until the rest of that is all at 15 here, so. Okay, now for the first post-chorus section. Alright, slow that down a bit. So the first thing you may have noticed here is I took that chord down a half step here, which makes it sound weirder, but I swear that is what is going on during this first post-chorus riff. Later in the song, it doesn't go down there. Later in the song, it stays up here the whole time. So that chord, the D17, G18, tap that 4 times, and throughout this whole thing, it's tapped 4 times. So, and then E3 with the left hand twice, and the second time around, it's E3, and then B2 hammer on 3. And then 2 E3s again. And the 4th time around, it is B2, hammer onto 3, pull off, and then 3 again. So like. Okay, and then next, start tapping that chord down a fret. Yeah, it sounds kind of strange, but I swear that's what's going on here. And then E3, B2, hammer on 3. So that 3 times. And the last time, what I'm hearing is B2, hammer on 3, and then the chord tap, and then 3, chord. Okay, play that a bit slower. Oh man, it's that low B sound like shit. Yeah, I lowered the action on all the strings here just so tapping would be easier, but if I'm gonna be doing some slapping on this, I'm gonna raise the action because yeah, that ain't gonna cut it. Anyway. Okay, so we start with a slap on B3, and then a quick slap on B2, and then 2 more slaps on 3. And then 4 taps of this chord up here, the lower one, so D16, G17. And then we're going to do a soft tap on So the second time around is going to start with 3-2-3 rather than 3-2-3-3. So instead of, it's just. And then after that, it's kind of hard to hear what's going on. It's pretty faint. It's kind of muted. But what I think's going on is a soft tap on 4, and then muted kind of note here. I mean, I guess it'd be like a single chord tap, and then a muted 4 again, or a soft 4 again. I mean. Okay, and for the third time around, before doing the, you're gonna do 2 muted slabs before that. So it's like. Alright, and then we have this part here. So that is that chord shape we've been using this whole time, the the Jerry chord. Just moving that around, which in describing this I'm going to denote by the higher note, just so I'm not, saying a bunch of notes unnecessarily. Okay, so we have 2 taps on a G18 here, and then once down a fret. Then we're going to slide up to 15. And then 18, 17 again. Slide up to 15, hit 15. Whoops. Okay, and then we're going to take it down a string and then hit G17 twice. And then up a fret. Okay, then we're back into the main riff up here at 15, so first time around it's going to be a twice once. And the second time around it's going to get cut short by this B15 slide down after 1 tap, so second time it's like. Alright, so down here at B3 we're going to do a twice once. And then next we're going to do a once followed by this kind of a. So. That is starting at B3, slide up, and then I think he's hitting the G18, but it's so like kind of quick that it basically just sounds like a muted note. So, you might as well just go. So with the second slide being at B8. Okay, so still down here at B3, we have a twice once, and then we have this part here like. So that is a twice, followed by a. So on the middle 2 strings, A and D, slide up to 18 and 19. So using that chord shape we've been using this whole time, slide up to that. Okay, so we have another twice once, and then after that we have a once. Kind of immediately followed by another one of those slides, but it's on the E and A strings this time, up to 19 and 20. So that's going to kind of go like this. Okay, and then we're into this little interlude part where he's like, barbecues, tea kettles, gobs of axle grease. Just before he starts speaking though, there's this little I mean, this is being really anal, but just to be as detailed as I can get. This little, it's like he starts the first 3 notes of the riff, but then doesn't continue. Okay, so during this part, we're going to be tapping B3, and kind of hold that down to sustain that note. And with the right hand, tapping our favorite chord here, pretty lightly. So. Okay, so after we're into another chorus where we have a double E15 taps during the whole time. And during this chorus, I don't think it's slide down, I think it's just with, and continue that light tapping of that chord up here. Okay, and then we're into another post-chorus section, which is going to be nearly identical to the first post-chorus section, only this chord here. We're staying up here, it's not going to move down to, so. as mentioned before, I think it's throughout the rest of the song, it's just like rather than so. And then the last part here is going to be different. It's 2 taps of the chord, and then take it down a fret, and then hit the B2 and slide up. Okay, we're back into the main riff up here at B15 for a twice once. And then we have a once followed by, what I think's going on here is like 2 slaps on B15. And then slide down. So, kind of like this. Okay, then we're down here at B3 for the main riff for a twice once and then a once, and when the main riff is played during the once part, that's when there's a big old Herb drum fill. And then the main riff is going to continue down here at B3 for a twice once, once, twice once, and then we have this fill here. So, you know, using that chord shape we've been using this whole time, we're going to be tapping at A15, D16, twice, and then 3 quick taps up a fret each time. So, with context, it's going to be kind of like this. Alright, then we have another twice once, and then we have this part here. So that's twice, followed by 2 quick chords. Hold down the second tap to sustain it for a bit. Okay, then we have another twice once, and then we have a similar fill, but it is 3 hits with the chord instead of 2, so it's like... So that same exact fill is going to show up in this final verse here, as he says precisely what I mean, and then after that, again, as he says, hour and 15. So again, that fill is... And then when he says call it, we're going to tap B3 and slide up. And then for the final chorus, it is all E15s, and you know, slide down on the second one with 4 taps of that chord here. Okay, now we're in the final post-chorus section, and this section is going to be basically exactly like the previous post-chorus section we did. So, you know, up here the whole time with the 4 chord taps. But speaking of the E3 here, the first time I tried to learn this song, I thought it was 3 then 4, so I thought it was like... it's not... I mean, I don't think that's correct. I don't think it's up here to 4. But the second one does sound a bit higher pitched to me than the first one. I think maybe he's just bending the string a bit as he's like pulling off. So like kind of bending it a little bit. But anyway, the final bit of this final post-chorus section is going to be different though. And so that is going to go like this, I think. B2, hammer on to 3, pull off to 2, and then tap the chord down here but 1 fret lower, so do that twice. So okay, now for the outro. Alright, slow that down a bit. So basically during this entire outro, I mean, I know I just played, the first part of the outro before Laura comes in, but for the entire outro, it's going to start out with with the left hand, tap B4, hammer on 5. Okay, then after that, with your right hand, with your 3 fingers except for your pinky, do this kind of 3 quick muted notes. Well, you might be hitting the notes a little bit, but that's okay. That's kind of part how the song sounds actually. So that's a technique he employs on a rapscallion. So it's easier if you're fretless, but anyway, so most of this is going to be at 8 and 9 on the D, G, C strings. So up 5 frets if you're playing on a 5 string. But what's going on here is a little strange. So to play all 3 of those notes, or to tap those rather, he's using just his index and middle fingers. With your index finger tapping down, hitting 2 strings at once. So hitting the D and G strings with your index finger, with your middle hitting the C string. I mean, if you can't really hit that middle string, it's not really a huge deal. The 2 most important or most prominent notes in here, I think, are the D and C strings. So just playing those 2 strings. Yeah, I mean, it's mostly there, it sounds pretty close, but it's not quite as full. Try to hit that string in between if you can there. So then you're going to do one of those to start out with, hitting on 8 and sliding up to 9. So one of these. Again. Okay, and then after that you're going to do that again, but then these kind of 2 taps up here at 13. Speaking of that, so that's going to be a lot of the fills in this section, kind of, going up here and doing some slides, I think for that it's just the high 2 strings. I think it's just these 2 strings. I don't think it's all 3. If it's all 3, that is pretty hard to do. I mean, doing this is it's already set my fingertips on fire. But yeah, I think it's just the high 2 strings. I'm mostly sure it's not the D and C strings, because that just sounds pretty weird. Sounds like that doesn't really sound right. But anyway, we're going to do another one of those. And then we're going to do like these kind of 2 taps up to 18 twice. And then a slide down. So then we're going to do another one of those. And then we're going to do 2 slides up. So like so. And then another one. And then we're going to slap on a B5 here. And then we're going to do another one of those, and then we're going to do one that's kind of cut short by like 3 B5 slaps, so like this. Okay, and we're going to do another one of those, and then we're going to do one where the last tap is kind of like you slide up and then do 3 taps and slides, so like Okay, next we're going to start sliding up to 10 a bit instead of just 9. So kind of like this. And then we have a bit here that's like slide, slide, and then 3 quick slides, so kind of like. So then we're going to start doing more sliding up to 10 here. He might start that at 9 rather than 8. I'm not really sure, but sounds about the same either way. It's easier to do at 9 in any case. And then we have a slide and then another slide up into C19 up here. So, yeah. Alright, so next we're going to take it from 8, 9, 10 up here to 12 and 13. You know, with your left hand still down here at... now again, up here in this zone, it might be all 3 strings. I'm not entirely sure, but I mean, doing that is pretty dang hard. And I think just the high 2 strings kind of work here, but to try to get all 3 strings. So yeah, we're up here at 12 and 13, and our first fill is going to be up here at like 16. So. And then up here to like 18, 17, like 2 slides, and then like 18, 17. So. And then we're back down here to 8 and 9. Okay, so back down here at 8, 9, we're going to do a bunch of those with a couple kind of tap-tap slides up to 10 thrown in there, so like... Alright, we're back up here to 12 and 13. The second time we're going to slide up to 14 here. And then we're going to tap E5 actually here, and then do some 13s after that. So. And then we're going to do more of that. And then we have this fill here that's tap E5 again, hold that down, and then do a... So 13 3 times, and then a 12, 11. Then back down to 8, 9. And yeah, it's pretty much just going to play out the rest of the song. So there you go, DMV.